Myles Goodwyn, how's it going with you? We just seen a statement the other day, yesterday actually, on your retirement. What's going on with that?
Yeah, okay. Well, semi-retirement. I'm just not interested in touring anymore. As we posted, as I posted yesterday, we as a follow-up to the initial post. Yeah, I just let the band know and everybody know that I'm not interested in touring anymore. So we're looking for someone to replace me and to do the touring. I'll still be involved in other aspects, but no more touring. That was really what it was all about.
That's going to be very difficult to find, that replacement to match your
It,
voice.
it, well, it won't be easy, but it will happen. I mean, there's so many bands, plus classic rock bands that have had to replace singers, drummers, guitar players. It's for all the reasons that seem to be obvious. Some don't want to tour anymore, some can't anymore, but we'll find somebody. We'll find somebody.
And like that, you give the opportunity for the fans to still see April Wine live, which is a great thing as well.
I think so. Basically, nobody really wanted the band to end because I didn't want to tour, and including me. I didn't want to stop what I do, what I love to do, and that's write and record and to sing and to play guitar. I like all those things. I've been on the road for 50 years. I was on the road before April Wine got together. I mean, I've been everywhere. As Hank Snow once said, I've been everywhere, man. And, I'm just tired of traveling, worn out. If that means then if I don't tour, I don't do anything, I think that's a bit drastic. I know that's not what the other guys in the band want or the other people that work at this thing called April Wine full-time. It's a job. This is a full-time job for not only band members but crew members and other people that are associated through agencies and all other other things. There's a lot going on, and and I want to continue doing everything but
right
touring. I'm tired of airports and the rest of it.
Which can be a big work, in itself, and tiring at time.
Well, it is. It's just the problem is that you look at our schedule. We might be doing 50 or 60 shows a year, but every one of those shows takes 2 to 3 days to accomplish. Usually, I mean, you obviously, if there's, we have a day to travel to the show. If it's a long way to rest that night, to get up and play the next day, and then to travel home.
Right.
So it takes at least one day. And that's if it's in your backyard kind of thing.
Right.
So it's usually 2 and often 3, and unless you go out for a number of dates in a row. Then if you're gone for a week or two, you put it all together. It's a chunk out of your life. It's a big chunk out of 12 months, and 365 days, and a lot of them are used up just traveling. So anyway, let's try and find somebody else that would do that instead of me. And we can proceed, and everybody would be good with that, So, and the fans too, they want to hear more music. They don't want, and it's all about the music. It really is about April and the music, and people like our songs, and they want to hear those songs, and they're interested in hearing some fresh ones, some new ones. So, that's been underway, and that's well underway. The new CD. So I will be finishing that for sure.
Awesome.
And singing and playing and writing as usual.
Now, it should be a good feeling to wake up in the morning and knowing you're a platinum-selling artist, and, still being played on the radio, etc. throughout all these years. It should be a great feeling.
It is, yeah.
When you look into a song to write it, where do you get your influences to write this song, like some of the main hits?
My influences are like a million years ago. I mean, I'm a writer now. I'm a writer, and I've been a writer for decades, so my influence on my writing overall comes from my early years, right? I'm country music growing up as a very young, and then the Beatles, Elvis, and then the Beatles came along in 63, 4, and then we all started seriously writing songs and playing guitar and being totally self-sufficient that way, and then all through the different genres of music up through the 60s and the 70s and stuff, and I don't really listen to anything anymore. All I really listen to these days is classical music and things like that. It's just something. It's background music now. I don't really go to anybody to find an inspiration necessarily to write the next tune. I just got years of experience and experiences and worked on the craft for a long time, so I know how to write a song. So I sit down with a blank piece of paper and a guitar in my hands, and I start based on my talent as a songwriter, I guess.
You're still selling sold out shows. You played Casino Halifax a little while ago, and it was sold out. 2 nights in a row. That should be a major, good feeling, to feel inside.
Well, yeah, that's this is what I'm saying with the band. It's it's one thing to pack it in when you can't sell tickets and nobody really gives a damn,
Yeah.
But when most of your shows are sold out, and there's always a demand, and you're always working, and it's there, and we're booked well in advance, and well in advance, easily sometimes into the next year, and with that kind of work available and that kind of interest, more importantly, the kind of interest from fans and everybody, it's a great feeling to know that it's there, and it's very hard to not make a commitment in terms of playing and so forth. I think that's why you get a lot of bands, major bands, that continue to tour. And you say, why in the world would Paul McCartney or the Rolling Stones or all of these people, why would they want to keep playing? And it's because they love the music, and there's a fan base out there that just wants more. And April Wine is nothing like that in any sense of the word, except that we have a fan base and they want more too, and so we want to give them more.
Now, Myles, let me go, on some of my favorite April Wine's albums, like the live album, the first one you ever did, and Electric Jewels. Your guitar tone, was something else back then. What would you describe your guitar tone back then? Like what you have used for an amp and guitar?
Well, I don't remember what was used on there. I mean, I really don't. Guitar tone comes from a lot of different things. Obviously, the guitarist and the amp is one thing, but the player, you can have 3 different rigs, and you could have one guitar player. You'll end up making them sound all the same. It just happens that way, And the guy that makes an amp sound bad will make any amp sound bad. So, with April Wine down there in those days, I don't remember exactly. I believe I do, but I'm not certain. I wouldn't swear to it. But I had an old Fender, a Bassman head, and I had some Trainer column speakers, and I played a mid-'60s Gibson Melody Maker, 2 pickup, double cutaway. That was my guitar, and it wasn't until, I don't know, sometime around the mid-'70s, close to the mid-'70s, was one of my main guitars. Yeah, mid-'70s for sure. And then we had at least, 75 or 76, so we had a truck accident on one of the major arteries here on the DeCarry Expressway. Our crew did with the truck, and everything in that truck was spread all over the DeCarry. My guitar was in pieces, and that was the end of that. So I got another one, but that's what I use. But we use different amps all through the years. I had my 76 Marshall. I went to 70 Marshall in 76. I've never played anything really since then. I still have the same one I used back in the mid-'70s, 76, as I say. I still have that. I still use it, but only in the studio. I don't take it on the road. So I can't really tell you exactly what guitars. I have an arsenal of guitars. I have about 100 guitars, and a lot of them never see the studio, and there's others that are always the ones you go back to, that I've been going back to since the early 70s, back what your time talking about, like my White SG and other guitars that I've just had for forever. There's a handful of those that I still use. The one at Electric Jewels is still around. There's a lot of guitars I still have from those days.
The one on the album cover, basically.
Which album? Oh, I like Jules, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's,
And the Gibson Artisan on Power Play and so forth.
What do you think, of amplifiers now? Do they still deliver what the goods were back then? Or, is it much better? How do you look at, equipment nowadays?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't want to get into gear too much because I don't know. I know what I know. I play what I play. There's a lot of great amps out there. Are they better than what I have? I really don't know or care. There's a lot of boutique amps that I think it's ridiculous the money they pay for them, but some people are willing to pay for them. But if you get a good Marshall, it's hard to beat. I'm not saying it can't, but it works for me.
It's a real good pleasure, to talk about, the old days. Electric Jewels is one of my favorites. live album as well.
Yeah, me too. That was a really good time. Those were the best times of recording. It was a real simple, naive, young, experimenting, wonderful day. Stand Back was the pinnacle of that for me. Electric Jewels was a great period too, because we were still kids and we were still having fun. And there's a lot of frustration in Electric Jewels because with poor management and everything else, we were breaking up while we're making it. So you get songs like Electric Jewels, which is a reference to us. In the hands of fools, that being them. But, here we are many, many years later, and it's all good.
It still stands the test of time, that album, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's an album. I'm proud of those albums during that period. And, yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Those are kind words. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's very well deserved. You are the best at what you do, and I hope to see you someday. And the music you presented throughout the years, I really appreciate you making it for the fans as
well.
Well,
thank you, Jason. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we're going to get a replacement for me in the next couple of weeks, or maybe it'll take 2 years. I don't know.
Well, like that.
I don't know. I'm on call.
And you'll be on
call.
On call.
So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, very kind of you to take this call, and appreciate it a lot.
Okay. Well, you take care. Have a great summer, and we're just starting to see some decent weather here. The leaves are finally out. It's actually green outside, so that's really sweet.
That's very good. Well. Because back here in Nova Scotia, our wind has finally cut down. Now we got weather that's a little bit nice too.
Yeah. Well, enjoy.
Okay, you as well, Myles. Take care.
Thanks so much, Jason. You take care. Bye-bye.
Very welcome. Bye-bye.